Okay, today we're looking at some pretty old swamp cooler pads. They're old and dirty and, quite frankly, very unhealthy. You could probably catch Legionnaire disease from these things. They're so dirty. And I don't actually like this kind either. What's wrong with this type of pad? They're cheaper pads, but they always make your swamp cooler dirtier. They fall apart, and I don't know. I just like the newer modern versions. So first of all, we got to get these old pads out of here, and they're just held in there by this metal clamp. So you have to pull out the sides of your doors. Just the doors have just pull them off to the side and take that clamp, take that metal bracket out of there. It always helps to have a little screwdriver. You can place a flathead screwdriver in there and take it out. Anyhow, once you get that bracket out, you throw these things away as quick as possible. Try not to breathe that filthy dust coming out from these things if you have this type. So, how long do these pads last? The newer pads, I think the newer pads can last 2 or 3 years. And if you see any extra calcium buildup on these doors, you can scrape out the calcium deposits and any dirt and keep those nice and clean also. This is a good time to clean those off. As you can see, this one is really bad condition. Lots of calcium deposits and dirt. And I actually made a longer video on how to recondition a swamp cooler, get it ready for summertime. This video here is just on replacing the pads. But if you want to watch a video on how to get the whole swamp cooler ready for summer, I recommend you watch the longer video I have. It's called Getting Your Swamp Cooler Ready for Summer is what it's called. So anyhow, you scrape down the doors, the vents, take off any calcium deposits on the vents and clean it out the best you can. This is the best time also to use some sort of Clorox spray, and just in case there's any Legionnaire virus on there, uh, now's the time to spray. You don't want to spray the pads with any chemicals. The pads already come prepared, but now would be the time to clean any a cleaning solution in there before you put the pads in. Remember, dirty water can give you a Legionnaire's disease, and so you've got to make sure you have routine maintenance and keep these swamp coolers clean. You don't want to catch Legionnaire's disease. So here's a pad. It's a 24 by 20 pad. Make sure you measure your old pad before you go to your home improvement store to get the new pads. Make sure you measure the old ones. So now we're putting the metal bracket back in place that holds the pad in. You put the bottom in first, and then you just put those little hooks in there inside the door. Very simple. You just push them in there with your fingers. They just, as you can see, it just goes in. Now the next side, the right side is a little difficult. This is where you might want to use a screwdriver. A flathead screwdriver always helps at this position. Instead of, you see, I'm using my finger, trying to use my finger, but I think I'm going to grab a screwdriver here pretty soon. I got that one in with my finger, but this one here, that's a good way to get your finger thumb messed up. So what you do here is you put your flathead screwdriver in there. There you go. Finally getting smart. Put the right tool for the right job. It's really an easy job, but there you go. This metal bracket holds it in there. Now, the weird part about this swamp cooler, the pads are 24 by 20 inches, and when I went to the hardware store, they didn't have any 24 by 20, so I had to get a 24 by 30, and I'm just going to cut the pad. Now, the good thing about getting a pad a little bigger than you need, you can actually cut the pad a little larger than normal. So they're very easy. These new modern pads are very easy to cut. You just go ahead and you can cut them to fit. And so I had a green one that was the right size, 24 by 20, but if you notice, it still doesn't fit perfectly. That's why sometimes it's better to get the pad a little larger and cut it yourself. Or they do make rolls. You go to the store and they give you a roll of this stuff, and you cut it to the size you want it. You cut it a little extra, and then you fill it in it fills in a little better. So I've already cut this one. Again, we've been over this, how to put this bracket in. You put the bracket in, left side first, use your screwdriver, snap it in place on the right side. And about every couple years, you should put new pads in your swamp cooler. And you don't have to spray any cleaning product on the pads. The pads come prepared. But before you put the pads in, it doesn't hurt to clean the metal doors. Some sort of Clorox bleach, spray it down with some Clorox bleach, get any germs off there, then hose it down with a hose. That doesn't hurt at all. So there it is. It's very simple. We've replaced all the pads. You put the doors in, and it's simple. Good luck.